Doesn't it sound like heaven to love your teen so well that they can't help themselves but love you back? Welcome to Pivot Parenting. I'm your host, Heather Frazier. And together, you and I are going to build more peace and joy so that your family looks forward to being together in the fun times and so that you are strong enough to overcome any obstacle that your family might face. This is where small weekly shifts that you implement create lasting change so that peace and happiness can truly abound in your home. Welcome to today's episode, my friend. We are talking about one of my most favorite things, which is love. And today I am breaking down the who, what, when, where, why, how of all of it. And I love in the English language that we can use love so flexibly. Oftentimes we think of romantic love or familial love, but we also say we loved this show, or I love that outfit, or I loved that vacation, or I love a good massage. Love is an extraordinarily versatile word. And that isn't lost on me because in the coaching model that I use the majority of the time, love fits into all 5 of those categories: circumstance, thought or belief, feeling, action, and result. Love can be all of these things. And today I am going to break it down for you. So let me ask you this. When you're thinking about your teen, do you experience worry, frustration, and need for them to change or for you to have more control over what's happening? Do you find yourself bouncing between anger and apathy and frustration, just trying to find somewhere soft to land? Do you care so much about them that you find yourself being tied into a pretzel just to please them and then it's short-lived? Or you completely throw up your arms, give up, and let them live and let live, and that doesn't work either. If this is at all relatable, you are probably misunderstanding or misapplying love in your family. And today is one of the many episodes in my 12-episode series of love, where we're going to put fear and frustration and heartbreak behind us. I'm going to teach you how to embrace love so well that your relationship with them and you can't help but improve. Now, if this is your first episode that you're listening to in the series, I invite you to go back to episode 310, which is the first of the 3 first episodes. So 310, 311, and 312 are really important to listen to before you move on to the other episodes, because we need to create a foundation, a base in which you will need to apply the following episodes. Okay, so just a heads up, a warning. Now, of course, you can listen to this, but go back and listen to the other ones so that you have something solid to apply all that I teach you afterward. Okay, let's jump right into the meat and potatoes. The model that I typically use was taught to me at the Life Coach School, and Brooke Castillo came up with it, and it is CTFAR, circumstance, thought, feeling, action, result. And it's kind of like a flow chart. Things go from one to the next. So if we're putting love into all of these, the circumstance would be the state of experiencing love, or somebody saying, I love you. A circumstance is essentially something that just is, like the sun rising, or the temperature outside, or a text that somebody sends. These are all just facts. You could prove them in a court of law or with a medical test or some other form of measurement. And facts exist whether we like them or not. They exist whether we choose to acknowledge them or not. They just are, and they are unswayed by any of our silly opinions. It's just the fact of the matter. And there's no adjectives in the circumstance. Then we have the thought. which could be something like, I want to love them, or why won't they love me? Or I want to choose love in this situation, or love is hard, or I'm not sure how to love under this circumstance. Or beliefs about love, they should love me, or we should all be loving and get along. Then we have the feeling of love. This is the most commonly assumed role of love. It's a feeling. And yes, it is a feeling, but it is also all of the other things. So feeling love in our heart when it gets big and we feel it and it just is overwhelming and it feels amazing. That's the feeling. Then we have the actions, actively choosing to express love. Like when I'm tired, but I want to go in and tell each of my children good night and give them a hug good night. That is me acting on that feeling of love. Or when I'm at the grocery store and I think, oh, if I got this thing of lemonade, it would really make my kid happy. And I love them and I want to get them their favorite lemonade. That's me acting on love. Or when I want to yell and I don't because I know that's not loving. And so I choose to temper my voice. That is me acting on love. And then the result is always the fruits of our beliefs, desires, and choices. And so the result would be I create more love. Because I didn't yell at my kid, I feel more love toward them and toward myself because I'm so proud of myself for not yelling when I wanted to. Although I'm actually not much of a yeller. Usually I just cry. You might be thinking, this is all fine and dandy, but why does it matter? Well, this matters a great deal because culturally we are taught that love is a force beyond ourself. It's easiest to see this in romantic love or in familial love because it's like, oh, I fell in love or I fell out of love. Or in families, it can sound like, I don't think you love me. Or maybe I don't love my own kid. And that can feel very scary because we're giving all of our autonomy, our choice, our agency to act and to embrace or not embrace love to some mysterious who knows what outside of us. And that can feel really scary. My friend, I have had so many parents whisper to me, I don't know if I love my kid. I definitely don't like him. And then they have so much shame because they've never said that out loud. It is one of their deepest fears, one of their deepest wounds. That here's this child that has wreaked havoc on their mental health, their sleep, their home life. And there is so much anguish because they don't even want to be around the kid anymore. And they think that they've done something to damage their ability to love this child. And it's true. Some people make it easy to choose love and to act on love. And some people make it harder to choose love and to act on love. But the fact is it is always our choice. And this is one of the most important things that I cannot stress enough, that you and I and every other person choose or choose not to love. When I am talking to teenagers and they're struggling with their parent, and they're not feeling loved by their parent, it is not because the kid is bad or has done anything wrong. It is because their parent does not understand love, does not understand how to love themselves, and does not understand the anatomy of love enough to know that they can love their kid and hold boundaries and have other emotions like disappointment, sorrow, heartache, fear. All of those things can coexist with still feeling love towards that child. A lot of parents, though, they believe that their child needs to act a certain way. So this is putting love as a prize or something that other people choose. So I will love my kid when they choose to be nice to me. I will love my kid when they validate who I need them to be. For example, they're going to church or they're getting good grades. Then it's easy to love them. But if they're not doing those things, well, it's their own fault. And those are the kids that I talk to. And it breaks my heart because they are just as worthy to receive love. It's not their fault. Their parent is struggling and grappling with understanding how love actually works. And we are really complex creatures. We can hold several different beliefs and emotions at once. Imagine your teen walking into the room and your heart skips a beat because you're so excited to see them. Just connection, love, and peace flowing between you. You're confident that no matter their mood, it's going to be okay. This is the powerful skill set my clients gain. Book a free Discover Your Disconnection Pattern call with me, and I will outline your exact process to find the peace, connection, and confidence in your teen and their future you're wanting. Visit my website, heatherfrazier.com, or click the link in the show notes. Remember, Frazier is spelled with a Z-I in the middle. Why do we as humans withhold or choose not to love? I see it all the time. And it's because we think that love just belongs in that feeling position. That it's simply a feeling that we want to manipulate the circumstance, the thoughts, the actions, the results to create love for us. And there are 4 really common struggles that I see parents with. The first one is that they think love is a prize for their child to earn, for themselves to earn. And we can make it easy to be loved, which is oftentimes why we people please, or our kids might tend to people please and just tell us what we want to hear or lie to us so that we don't know the things that might cause us to stop feeling love toward them. And we do this at each other. So at the same time, we are trying to create simply the feeling of love. Our kids are doing it us. Our spouse is doing it us. Our friends, neighbor, family, everybody who doesn't know any better is trying to manipulate those other points, the circumstance, the thought or belief, the actions, and the results to create that feeling of love for them. But this is really disempowering because love belongs in all of those categories, not just the one. Love is not a prize to be earned. It is not a payment to receive. It is not a feeling that we need other people to create for us. It is something we choose. It is something we create within ourselves. It's really easy to see what I mean when you think about somebody you love who has passed or that you don't see anymore. They do not create a feeling of love, but you create the feeling of love when you take flowers to their grave, when you think about them, when you read old journals of theirs, or watch the movie that you two would always watch together. And you're creating a feeling of love. They're not even around to help with that. And you can still create love for that person because you are choosing to think of them and you're choosing nice thoughts. The second one is that people think love is mystical and something that is sprinkled down on them, that they have no control over, that it's just a gift from who knows where or how, and it is very nonsensical. No, love is actually really logical, my friend. It is not mystical, magical, something that you have zero control over. It's 100% in your control. Number 3, people think that if they love then they condone the behavior, and they cannot do that. This is not true. Love and trust are really, and I've done podcasts on trust. People think that if they choose to trust somebody or choose to love somebody, then that erases all of the misdeeds, the lying, the sneaking out, the vaping. No, it doesn't. You can say, hey, here's your consequence for lying, and I love you. And you lying to me does not affect my love for you. I had one mom question and say, well, if I don't get mad, then how will they know they've done something wrong? I assure you they know. And following through with rules and consequences is actually a great way to love your child, because if we don't do that, once they get a certain age, the judicial system will, or their friends and other people in their life will teach them the consequences of their choices. And we're the ones that love them the most. We want to teach them that their actions and their words have consequences. And the best way to do that is loving them unconditionally. So yeah, you took the car without permission and I love you, and you don't get the car keys this week. Or you sneaked your phone into your bedroom all night. Now your phone is mine for a week and I love you. And I'm doing this because I love you and I know what's best for you, even though impulsively those things are delightful. I want my phone all night too. And yet I know it is not good for either of us. And then the fourth one, and this is the one that hurts my heart the most, is parents don't know how to love. They weren't shown this as children. They struggle to love themselves, and they are just lost little lammies. There's hope for all of these categories, and usually it's not just one. These four are the most common that I come across. So what do? We have to exercise our ability to choose. We practice. We repair. And then we give a lot of grace and love, another form of practice, to ourselves, to our kids, to our partner. Because not only when we actively exercise our choice in love, it strengthens it. This is just like a muscle. It's going to be really awkward and maybe even painful and a little bit sore. But the more reps you get in, the stronger it will be, the more natural and intuitive it will be. I love to go to Pilates, and I go to a friend of mine, and she has 2 reformers, and I've been going for several years. And it's fascinating to me, and I didn't even notice it, but sometimes I take new people with me. Like if the gal who usually goes with me can't come, then I'll snatch my husband or one of my kids or a friend, and they come with me to be on the second reformer. And what seems so second nature to me can feel really awkward to them because I've been doing it for several years. This is the same thing. It was awkward for me at first, and now I do it without her even having to tell me what to do, unless she's teaching me something tricky and new. And then I'm back to square one. It's the same thing with using our choice to create love from within. I just want to drive home the reality that you create love from within your own mind and heart. It doesn't mean it has to be the only emotion. You can create love along with sadness. You can create love along with holding boundaries and saying no. And those emotions that you're having with love will always be less painful to you and the people in your life when they are grounded in you choosing love. And I really want to reiterate that love is not being a doormat. It is not, because that's not loving to you, and you deserve just as much love as everyone else in your life. To love yourself is not selfish. To choose yourself is not selfish. Sometimes that is the best thing to do so that we can more ably love other people instead of resenting them. Boundaries are the space required to love both yourself and the other person. And when we acknowledge that we are creating love, then it is easier to see where those boundaries need to be. I hope this has been helpful. As always, I love reviews. I love it when people share my podcast episodes. So if you're interested, do either of those things. But I can't wait to talk about the next aspect of love with you next week.